Hi. So recently I discussed some different fashion and style trends that I would be passing on. So I figured we'd balance things out today by talking about some trends that I do like, from accessories to clothing to broader sorts of concepts. I thought it would be fun to discuss some things that I have been gravitating towards lately, various items and prints and whatnot that have been inspiring me, that are making me excited about fashion and getting dressed every day. So I'm excited to hang out and chat with you all, and I hope you enjoy this video. But before we get into all of the trends that I am loving right now, I thought I would show you some glasses that I'm loving right now, generously supplied by today's sponsor, Zeelool. They've sent me 6 pairs of super cute glasses that we'll take a closer look at. But first I want to chat with you a little bit about the brand. Zeelool is a global online eyewear company that offers both stylish and affordable glasses. Not only do they offer prescription lenses, but many of their glasses also contain blue light blockers, which is really nice considering the majority of us definitely spend a lot of time looking at our phones and various sorts of screens throughout the day. So that's very cool, and I'm excited to show you everything that they've sent me. The first pair I have to show you are the green glasses in the color crystal. I think these are so stinking cute, and I love how lightweight and comfortable the frames are. The clear and transparent frame adds a fun modern touch, but the shape of the frames are just really classic and will complement any face shape in my opinion. These would look adorable styled with just about anything since they are so minimal, but I feel like they are quite the statement piece because of their transparency. It's very cool and funky. They're extremely comfortable and I barely notice them on at all. They sit very nicely on my face without any need to adjust them. Very cute, easily one of my favorites. Next, I am wearing the Hairball glasses in the color dark green, and these are so quirky and fun. I love a pop of color and pattern, and these glasses feature both of those things, and I think this beautiful shade of green goes so well with that brown tortoiseshell print on the side. While these are definitely thicker than the previous frames, they're still just as comfortable, sit really well. So if you're into a thicker frame style, something that feels a little bit sturdier, then these are an excellent option. Something I love about their glasses that I've noticed is that they sit a good distance away from your face, so it doesn't really interfere with your eyes or your makeup whatsoever. I'm wearing really large eyelashes right now, and the glasses aren't touching them at all. They're not interfering with my makeup at all, and I love that the lenses are so large on this pair, so you can really have fun with your makeup while wearing them. Third, we have on the Lamar glasses in the color red, and I'm obsessed with these. I love the shape of them, and I am just a sucker for anything cat eye or frames that have a vintage feel to them, but coupled with their fun use of color and pattern, they're still ultra fun and cool. Again, I cannot express enough how comfortable these glasses are. They sit far from your face, as I said, which is really nice, but they don't need any adjusting. And while many of the glasses, including these, feel really lightweight on your face, they still feel really well made and long lasting. I love the gold hardware on the side, and they also have this cute little gem detail. I love the blend of retro and modern, so no matter what your style is, I think these glasses would be the perfect cherry on top to any outfit, especially with that bold red color. I think it would be so cute to play around with the color and coordinate your other accessories to these. Maybe style them with a red bag or a beret, something chic and cute to go with them. Now I am wearing the Rods glasses in the color black, and I'm in love with that little glitter detail that lines the frames. They have such a simple classic look to them, but then you turn to the side and bam! There's this fun hint of sparkle and sass, and I have to say they catch the light so beautifully. I just continue to stare at that part when they're on. I love anything that sparkles, and these are just so fun. I feel like you could wear these frames in a very professional setting as well, but I love that these have a subtle bit of playfulness to them while the rest of the frames are quite minimal. I think they feel very mature and smart despite that little sassy element of the sparkles, so I could totally see these being great for the office, those types of environments, but they're great for day-to-day wear as well. Fifth, I have on the Benitez glasses in the color blue, and these are easily the funkiest pair out of the bunch. Again, I feel like these would be excellent in a professional environment due to their smart and studious shape, but the tortoiseshell print and that pop of blue really subvert expectations, adding a bit of artistic flair, but I still think they're so effortlessly cool. These frames are a bit thicker as well, so if that is your preference, then these are a great option, but as I said before, they are just as comfortable as the lighter frames. I think these would pair so well with like a pencil skirt or something like that. I feel like these could really jazz up your workwear. They're classic, but still a bit edgy as well. And last but not least, I am wearing the Wesley glasses in the color light tortoise. This This style of frame is easily one of my favorites just because it's so versatile, but the side of the frames add this fun and unexpected detail with that geometric cutout and that little bit of bling. I think this would look so good with a red lip, maybe some jeans, a cute pair of heels for a night out. You could easily dress them up or wear them more casually with the blend of styles they have going on. So adorable and so wearable. You'll have to let me know which pair is your favorite, but it's really hard for me to choose because they're all so cute and stylish. Genuinely love all of these. If you would like to try out some of these styles for yourself or pick yourself up a new pair of frames, you can use my code GHOUL10 on Zeelool's website for a 10% discount off your order. Thank you so much to Zeelool for all the gorgeous glasses and of course for sponsoring this video. So now that we've gone over all those cute pairs of glasses, it's time to get into all the cute trends I've been loving. And also, little disclaimer, if you couldn't tell by now, I am presently sick. So my brain is a little bit foggy. My voice is a little bit nasally. I do apologize, but we're gonna get through this video as best as we can. So the first trend I am loving are bloomers. I think these are so cute and I find them extremely functional as well, especially if you're pairing them with like a dress that's a little bit too short. Having them be visible, stick out a little bit, I think is adorable. And I would say it's, safe to say that these have gone full-blown mainstream at this point. I'm seeing them in department stores, all kinds of places. I still have yet to get my hands on a pair. I'm waiting until like the right pair come to me. But there's lots of styles out there, so cute. I do think this would be a cute piece to invest in because again, it's so versatile. You can wear them as shorts, you can put them under dresses. If they're a bit on the frillier side, it adds a little bit of volume underneath your skirts and that sort of thing. I feel like there's so many ways that you can approach styling them. You can take it in a more girly, coquette, sort of dolled up direction. You can bring it in a darker, more fantasy, circusy kind of vibe. As I said, you can style them as shorts. You can layer them underneath things. So if you're gonna wear shorts underneath your dresses, why not make them bloomers, because then they're just a little bit more functional. You can wear them various ways. But this is definitely an item that I would like to have in my wardrobe at some point. Like I said, I'm waiting for the right pair. I don't want to just buy a random pair just because I saw them at the store. I want them to be the right fit, the right texture, that sort of thing. So I'm really loving bloomers. I think they're adorable. Again, as I've said like a million times at this point, functional, cute. I love a trend that will have lasting longevity in your closet. The next trend that I am loving are funky glasses, which pairs perfectly with today's sponsor. Many of them are blue light blocking, which is nice, so I definitely get use of those kinds of things while editing videos, that sort of thing. But of course, many people wear glasses. They need glasses to see. So I think it's fun to make them funky, make them cool, artistic, personalized. Of course, having glasses that, you can wear day to day, that's a useful thing to have. But if you have the means to do so, playing around with your glasses is super, super fun. I love seeing people, just with unique, personal glasses on, and you can have fun with print, color, shape. I think they're just a really cute cherry on top of your look, and I definitely take notice when people have unique frames. I think they can make any look feel extra artistic, creative, unique, and personalized. So funky glasses, again, that's something that you can keep in your wardrobe. You can rotate your glasses out. I think that is a long-lasting trend, something I could see withstanding the test of time, which is always something that I'm looking for when enjoying trends. And a lot of people, their glasses are their glasses, if that makes sense. Like, they know their shape, they know what they like, so they'll continue to wear that item. But I love it. Again, if you need them for, a functional purpose, why not make them extra cool and fun and playful? So funky glasses are something that I am totally loving right now. Another trend I have been seeing online that I absolutely love is visible mending. So that's basically the concept of, I keep hitting this, so I'm sorry if that's distracting. I'm distracting myself with it. I'm sitting a little too close, but visible mending. It's this concept of getting more wear out of your clothes, which I love, always encourage that. And it's this fun bit of DIY playfulness, creativity incorporated in there as well. So for instance, if you have a hole in your jeans that you want to patch up, instead of, going for a blue thread, something that matches the jeans as closely as you can, instead you're choosing to contrast with that, maybe going for rainbow thread, something super colorful and fun, maybe even embroidering some kind of little design in there. You can add sequins and beading, all kinds of different things, cutting up different different bits of fabric, repairing holes and things like that. So it makes your clothes feel a little bit more fun and personal. It also signals that you are repairing your clothes, that you love your clothes, that you want to continue to wear them and get the most use out of them that you can. And I think being able, to visually see that is a fun detail and really cool. And it's definitely inspiring me to work on some pieces of clothing that I've been kind of neglecting, my pile of things that need to be worked on. So that's something I would definitely want to try out and incorporate. And again, I love color, pattern, texture. If you've spent any time on my channel at all, you know that about my style. So I think this is such a fun, cute, adorable way to continue loving on your clothes. And again, when it comes to trends, I love something that will withstand the test of time, something that communicates personal style. It's not just a specific clothing item that you're jumping on. So this whole movement of visible mending, I think, is wonderful, and I would love to continue to see that. And it's definitely inspiring me to approach repairing my own wardrobe in a similar manner. Next trend I love are pins and patches. And this is one of those things where if it's a part of your personal style, then it is always in your personal style, which for me, that is definitely the case. I am always styling buttons, pins, patches, those sorts of things. It's definitely a key element of alternative style generally, but I have been seeing this really take to the mainstream, seeing it styled in photo shoots, editorially, that sort of thing. Editorially, sick brain, I cannot speak today. I'm trying my best. But I'm definitely seeing it take to the mainstream. I'm not mad about it. Again, it's one of those things where it will withstand the test of time and you can really personalize it. Another element of it is incorporating vintage and thrifted things. So collecting vintage pins is one of my hobbies. I love looking for them whenever I go out, various vintage stores, antique stores, those kinds of places. So I'm always keeping my eye out for those kinds of things. And I have like a little drawer that I keep them in, so I will rotate them, mix it up. It's such an easy accessory to change out, to take on and off. I absolutely love incorporating them on blazers, like lining the lapel collar. I'm not sure. The specific term is evading me, but styling that part of the jacket, I think that is really fun. Very cool, very rock and roll, very 1970s, 80s in my opinion. I think they're fun to put on hats. They're fun to put on sneakers, on your belt, on your skirts, whatever. You can really put them anywhere, but it's such an easy detail to add to an outfit, fairly inexpensive as well. Again, you don't have to buy them new. You can seek them out from different various secondhand stores. So I think that this is another timeless trend that you can incorporate. You can take it off, you can hold on to that thing and use it when you feel like it again. Fairly small accessory to store as well, so it doesn't take up much space in your closet. But I love pins, patches, such a fun, easy thing to incorporate into your style. The next trend I'm loving are buttons. And I actually somewhat recently, I don't know, within the last couple months, I made a DIY video making hair clips with buttons because I found some bags of them at the thrift store and I thought that that would be a fun little project to try, and they turned out super, super cute. Really, really easy DIY project to do. Basically, you just need some glue, super glue, hot glue, and you can attach buttons onto pretty much anything. You can also sew them into your clothes, which is fun. I've been seeing people line like tank top straps with buttons. You can add extra buttons to your skirts and pants, things like that. You can embellish purses with them. There's so many endless, various creative ways that you can approach styling buttons and incorporating them into your wardrobe. Again, something you can source secondhand. It doesn't have to be terribly expensive to incorporate. And as I've, established throughout this video already, I love trends and concepts and ideas that make us tap into our creativity and our own personal style. And I think buttons are such a fun, playful way to do that. I'm also obsessed with Coraline and stop motion, anything like that. So to me, my brain always goes to that when I see buttons. They're very twee, very cute, to make earrings, headbands, all kinds of things. So I've been loving seeing buttons just everywhere right now. This includes too, like just button details on things. Maybe you have a large oversized button on a jacket, that sort of thing. But I just think they're super cute. I just really enjoy looking at them. And again, I love that easy, accessible DIY element. It's something you can add to things, something you can take away. So its long-term impact, is not too serious. But love buttons, super fun. Would like to keep seeing them in fashion. The next trend I'm loving are bag charms. And yes, maybe this is a controversial one to include because they have gone kind of off the rails in terms of, their mainstream impact. I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of Labubu's. I just think there's cuter collectible things out there no shade if you genuinely like them, but I have seen people literally say verbatim that they only bought one because they're trendy right now and they just want to feel included in that. And they have just gone, like I said, completely off the rails in terms of like hyperconsumption. And I feel like these are something that's going to be like kind of tacky and outdated and not cool anymore within a short time frame. So when it comes to bag charms, I am not in favor of that sort of thing, these like mass marketed, mass produced sorts of keychains. But I still think bag charms are cute. I still think that they're a fun way to incorporate a bit of your personality into your style. Again, it doesn't take that much money or space in terms of investing in pieces. So you can add a keychain to your bag, you can take it away. The DIY video I brought up, I did make some bag charms and embellish some of my purses, so I still think that you can approach this in a DIY kind of way. Again, not super happy to see like all the mass marketed, mass produced aspects of bag charms. You know, I'm seeing them in department stores, very, very mainstream at this point. And my favorite thing to see is, you know, people curating things over time. Maybe you have a cool souvenir keychain that you got from vacation one year. Maybe you have a stuffed animal that you've had since you were a kid that you attach to your bag. So I think that there's really fun, sentimental ways to go about it. Don't have to go about it in this, you know, hyper consumerist kind of way. I still think that this is a fun thing to play around with. And some purses do, you know, look kind of naked and minimal without those little details. So I think this is something that I will continue to play around with. And I think that there's ways to go about it that is, you know, better than others. But you'll have to let me know what you think of bag charms. Are you sick of them yet? I'm definitely sick of certain aspects of it, but all around I still think it's a fun concept and I enjoy it visually. The next trend I am absolutely loving, I'm going to be referring to it as dark romanticism, and this ranges from circus to vampire to more Victorian styles. But I have been seeing a lot of harlequin print, bloomers as we mentioned, lots of sort of old, like antique sort of details like ruffles and lace. I've been seeing a lot of this take to the mainstream and I absolutely love it. I feel like this could extend to chainmail and nightcore as well, but all around sort of this very like dark, romantic sort of approach to style in terms of print, color, fabric. I definitely enjoy like Victorian styles. I love anything that feels circusy, vampiric. So I've been really enjoying seeing this in fashion lately. It's always something that I'm intrigued by, but I think people have been approaching it and incorporating it in really interesting, fun, playful ways. And I think fashion has been in a really like cutesy Y2K kind of modern direction for a while. So it's exciting to see something that goes, you know, completely against that. It feels kind of polar opposite to those sorts of styles. But I love it. I love a sense of drama, theatricality. I think that's really fun to incorporate into your wardrobe. I would really like to get my hands on some Harlequin print. I think I've seen it enough now where I know that that's something I would like to style. And all around, I'm having fun approaching style through this darker, moodier lens lately. The next trend I am absolutely loving are tech accessories. I remember I saw this photo of little iPod shuffles styled as hair clips, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it since then. But scrolling the other day, I saw someone made a purse out of like internet cables, and I think that's so fun. I love the idea of reusing materials and creating your own accessories and things like that. But as technology continues to get a bit more modern, we're moving into things like AI, and that's a conversation in and of itself. But I think this callback to like physical technology and physical media is so fun and interesting, and I could totally see this blowing up in fashion across mainstream spaces, runway spaces, styling it as hair clips, as I mentioned, putting it on bags, wearing it as jewelry. There's so many ways that you can go about this, and I love that it encourages individuality and creativity, DIY, as you know, I've established over and over and over again. Things like that excite me the most when it comes to personal style and fashion. And you can source things like this at the thrift store very easily. I always see like old random cables and wires there. So I think this would be a really fun thing to play around with. I might have to try a DIY video surrounding this concept myself. But I also love too just the idea of wearing tech as accessories, like old headphones, carrying CD players with you, that kind of thing. I think it would be really fun to bring back sort of like analog physical technology into style, again kind of pushing against the wave of technology that we're in right now, which feels really bleak and cynical in my opinion. So I'm definitely feeling this call towards nostalgia, to more physical technology. I always feel really inspired when I look at those kinds of things. It helps me tap into my relationship with my own inner child, but also just this sense of time that has gone by seemingly in a blink of an eye. Like physical tech was not really there for that long. So I think it's an interesting subject matter to play around with creatively, but I'm obsessed with it. I think it's so cool. It's definitely something I would like to incorporate more. It's sort of retro futuristic, I suppose, but I really love it. I would like to continue to see more of this because I think it's really fun. The next trend I'm loving is layered tank tops and sort of basics. I have been seeing this blow up too. It's in department stores, fully mainstream at this point. Some pieces are even like sewn together, but it's such an easy thing to style yourself. You can just layer tank tops, layered t-shirts, whatever, long sleeves under t-shirts, tank tops stacked on top of each other. But it's taking, again, this sort of basic concept, a very accessible concept, and making it a little bit visually more interesting by adding another layer there, adding some more texture and color. I don't know what it is, but it's so effective for me visually. I really, really like it. It definitely makes me want to explore with layering more in my wardrobe. Again, it's not something you have to go out and purchase new, which I'm always in favor of that. A trend or an idea that you can, go into your own wardrobe, things that you already have, and play around with it. This is a trend that you can very easily do that. And I've actually been doing it a lot. I've been layering tank tops on t-shirts again. And I think that there's ways, where maybe we got kind of burnt out from doing that. I certainly did because I used to do it all the time. But now it has me approaching it in a different kind of way. And I really like it visually. I like the way people have been approaching styling basics and layering them on top of each other. So that's something I would like to continue to do. Again, it helps you get more use out of pieces in your wardrobe, maybe approach styling them in a way that you hadn't before. So I think this is a really cute, simple, really nice trend that, again, totally accessible. You don't need to buy new, which is always a good thing. And my last trend that I am loving are sequins and beading. Now, again, this has gone mainstream in a way that I really don't like. Maybe you saw it, but there were these bags at TJ Maxx that went viral and people were just obsessively collecting them and buying like every style, even though it's like, how could you use like 30 purses, especially if they're all like kind of the same. And again, not to sound like a hypocrite, because I love clothes, I love collecting things, and I love purses. But it's like having the same item from the same place, and it's all new, and there's no curation involved. It's just like shopping consumerism. Hate that. That sucks. But there are ways to approach this trend that are, again, personal, unique to you. I love collecting beaded bags and I love sequins and anything shiny. So my eyes are always kind of open to those sorts of items and clothing and accessories. But again, this is something you can get at the thrift store easily. You just gotta go, look, dig around a little bit, and I'm sure you'll happen upon some sequins and beading. But instead of, going the mass-produced hyper-consumerist route, go look for antique bags, vintage bags. There's all sorts of things out there that you can find, for a reasonable price. And again, it's personal to you. This is also something that you can DIY. You can sew extra little sequins and beads and things like that onto your clothes. I have this skirt that I thrifted that I love that has some beaded flowers and things on it, but that does seem like a pretty easy DIY to do. So keep that in mind if you can't find anything out in the stores, in the wild, maybe try making it yourself. But this is something that, it's definitely trending right now, but it's always like a key element of my style. I just love things that sparkle and catch the light. Fairy core is definitely an aspect of my personal style. So those sparkly little trinkety kinds of details I always love. So if you are interested in trying this trend, I would really encourage you to personalize it instead of, going to TJ Maxx and buying all the beaded bags that you've been seeing on TikTok. There's lots of cool materials out there that already exist. You don't need to buy them new. Yeah, I think sequins and beads just add such a beautiful, fun, whimsical touch to any look. Like when in doubt, I throw a beaded bag on with my outfit just because it's the perfect, little sparkly cherry on top. This is something that's always in my personal style. And while I don't like, that hyper-consumerist aspect of it, I am enjoying seeing it more in fashion and in people's outfits. So overall, sequins and beads, love it. So that concludes the list of trends and things that I am loving right now. I would love to know if you have any overlap with my list or some things that are specifically standing out to you, things that you've been enjoying lately. As always, I super appreciate you spending time on my channel and my videos, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. All that stuff really, really helps out the channel. Currently trying to hit 20K, so every little bit helps. With all that said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.